Hola bonitas, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be doing a review and demo, very highly requested video on these viral pink powders right here. This has been a very highly requested video, so we're gonna do a breakdown on how each one of these very viral pink powders works from Sephora. So let's get into it. I am going to start off with the One Size powder. I'm going to apply some concealer on this side. Because we are going to be testing out 3 different powders, I am going to go ahead and have to take one eye off just so that we can compare, because I do not have 3 under eyes to compare each powder. And I'm going to be using the One Size Ultimate Setting Powder. This one is the Ultra Pink powder that just recently came out. I am going to go ahead and put some powder in my little lid. The powder is very pink. I do have an in-depth review on this powder. This one does retail for $34, and in the powder you do get 1.2 ounces. So you get a good amount of product in here. This one does not come in a mini size. The other 2 do. I don't like the way the part comes out, like that little dash for the One Size logo. I feel like it's too small. I know people have said I can open it, but with these long nails, I need to really sit down and take some tweezers and open it. So this is what the powder looks like. You guys can see, it looks like that. It is a very pink powder. It is vegan, it has a matte finish, and it is fragrance free. I always like to use a powder puff for these. I just buy these on Amazon. I do appreciate that this powder is very finely milled. It is also fragrance free, which is a big deal for a lot of us, especially if you do have sensitive skin. This is a 24-hour shine control, sweat proof, no flashback, which I will show you guys. But I literally keep looking over here because I took notes. So that's why I just keep looking. And some of the highlighted ingredients on this One Size Pink powder is Performance Powder Microspheres, which give you that silky smooth texture. Surface treated pigments aid in skin adhesion to really like grip onto the skin to give you that really good baking effect. Also, this does have soft focus powders, visibly blurs lines and improves the look of textured skin, which is very true. I love how this sets my skin. I have a lot of texture. If you go back and watch my One Size powder review, you see the difference. Also, if you watch my reels and TikToks on this powder, you can see the big difference in my skin when I apply this powder with the texture, because I do have a lot of texture and it does a beautiful job of just minimizing the texture. So this is what we're looking like right now. I'm going to just dust everything away. Something that I appreciate about this powder is how nicely everything just dusts away. It still looks like skin. So that right there is the One Size Ultra Pink powder. I really love it, and I love how this powder looks when you go in with a blush, especially a pink blush. Like, it just marries the blush and the powder so nicely. Now I'm gonna go ahead and go in on this side, and we're going to try out the Cherry Blossom powder. So I'm really excited about that one. I wanna see how it does. I've never tried it yet. This is my first time trying that powder. So I'm curious to see how it is going to perform on the under eyes. We're gonna take the Cherry Blossom powder, and this one is pretty pink. Look at that. I'm very excited. This is my first time ever trying this powder. This one does have fragrance in it. I can smell that right away. I will say this one is giving me a little bit more pigment than the one by One Size. I feel like the one by One Size, I had to kind of build up the product to kind of have this almost like baking effect from it. But I do appreciate, because I feel like the One Size, the powder's so finely milled that I feel like that's why like you have to really build it up to kind of give you like that finish. So here we have Ultra Pink, and here we have Cherry Blossom. I do feel like Ultra Pink is more pink than Cherry Blossom. Cherry Blossom, once you apply it on the under eye, it's giving more so of like that pale pink effect, which probably will give us way more brightening in terms of like that aspect of it. So let's talk about the Huda Beauty Cherry Blossom one. So this one retails for $38. It does contain 0.71 ounces. So this one has less product than the one size one. It's also more expensive by $4. This one is $38, this one is $34. You can get this one in a mini size where you get 0.21 ounces for $22. So you do get less amount obviously, but the prices isn't that far off. This is supposed to give us a flawless finish, long lasting, melt proof, fade proof for up to 24 hours of wear, no flashback. Now I will say one thing, the 1x1 size does say it is 24 hours shine control. And then this one does say that it gives you a matte with a hint of sheen for luminous finish. It's a silky texture. It does feel silky. I feel like they both feel very silky, like equally as silky. Okay, so let's go ahead and dust away the Huda Beauty one. Oh, this one is like melting really easily. What are we thinking? I feel like for some reason this one is giving us a little bit more brightness. The one by Huda Beauty, the Cherry Blossom one. The Cherry Blossom one gives us a tiny bit more brightness than the one size one. The one size one looks a little bit more natural on my skin. And then the Cherry Blossom one looks like I have powder on my skin. Are you guys seeing that? Cherry Blossom Huda Beauty, Ultra Pink one size. I do want to go in and see kind of how these clean up my blush. I'm gonna apply a little bit of blush before we go in with the last powder, which is this one. And I will show you guys how they compare and contrast with Flash. So I'm gonna go in with Makeup by Mario. I feel like when you go in with a really nice pop of pink blush, these powders do really well with it. Like, do you just see, I just feel like it kind of just blends very seamlessly with the powder. So let's see how this does for us. Okay, I'm taking the one size one and we're gonna use this to clean up. Something that I really love about this powder is how nicely it cleans up. And then just so you guys can see, I'm going to press it right here. So now we're gonna take the Cherry Blossom powder and we are going to clean up here. Okay, I have to say I feel like the Cherry Blossom, now that I've done this step, because I wanted to do this also to see like the pigment, I feel like with this, when you go in with one tap and you swipe it, you get much more product than with the Ultra Pink by one size. I also want to take it right up here and just kind of bake this side a little bit. One size is supposed to give us a matte finish. Huda Beauty Cherry Blossom powder says it's gonna give us a matte finish with a hint of sheen for that luminous finish. So this one is more of like a natural matte. This is like more matte. I'm gonna go ahead and take my brush and dust away the one size one. Like I said, I really do appreciate how easily the one size one blends out when applying it, because like I've said, I've had issues with other powders where I really have to go in and blend. Like it all just blends really nicely, and it all just looks really nice. Take the powder here and kind of blend that, and you guys can see just it really nicely does a good job of minimizing that texture because of the blur it gives the skin. Like it really blurs everything nicely. And I'm just gonna go ahead and blend over here. Okay, so this is what I'm talking about. It gives us a lot of pigment when we apply it, but when I am going in to blend it out, I really have to blend it out because the product stays stuck there. You really have to press it in, as opposed to this, it blends very seamlessly. Obviously, if you do like that like super sharp look, it just looks a little more makeup-y, you can definitely do it like that. Okay, now we're gonna blend the Cherry Blossom on top. Yes, see how like I have to kind of use a heavier hand to really blend that out. Thoughts on kind of just setting the rest of the face. You do get more pigment with the Cherry Blossom powder because I feel like it is a little bit of a thicker powder than the one size one. But when it's time to blend it out, you do have to be mindful. If you don't really go in and blend it out, you will have some residue of it, as opposed to with the one size when you get more so of a seamless blend. So that's something to note. I also do feel like I like the blurring effect more on the one size side than on the Cherry Blossom Huda Beauty side. So we have one size and we have Huda Beauty. I think in the end, I like how one size looks much more like skin-like. Obviously we're wearing makeup, but I feel like the side with the Cherry Blossom one, it looks a little heavier, especially with somebody like me that has a lot of texture. I did go ahead and take a flash test and I will insert that so you guys can see up close. But I honestly do feel like the side with the one size powder does look a little bit more skin-like, not as makeup-y as the side with the Huda Beauty powder. I think with flash, they both did pretty decent. I will say though, the Huda Beauty Cherry Blossom one does look a little bit more obvious. I just feel like for my complexion, this one doesn't suit it the best because I feel like it'll make my under eyes look a little too light instead of bright. So let me know what you guys think of these two, which one in your opinion looks better. I am gonna go ahead and remove the Huda Beauty side so that we can do the Givenchy Prisme Libre powder. Okay, last powder, this one right here, the most expensive one. This is the Givenchy Prisme Libre Loose Setting and Finishing Powder. I got the mini because the full size is very pricey. It is $59 for the full size. So I got this mini. This does contain 0.14 ounces, much less than the Huda Beauty's mini size, which contains 0.21 ounces, I think. Let me look. Got my notes here. Yes, the Huda Beauty mini contains 0.21 ounces and is $22. This one contains 0.14 ounces and is $29. So the full size is $59 and you get 0.42 ounces. So honestly, out of all of them, you get the most with the one size. And it's the cheapest one. So let's go ahead and open this one. See what we got. This is so cute. Like the fact that it comes with a little puff, like how adorable is that? And it literally says Givenchy on it. Like, I feel like this I like better for like little touch-ups, not necessarily to apply powder to set my under eyes for me personally. I do need to go ahead and open this though. Let me get some tweezers because my nails are too long for this. So this is an ultra finely milled powder. It's supposed to mattify, blur, and illuminate. So let's see what this one is all about. So this one also is very interesting because you get 3 different, like almost shades of pink. I feel like this one is more so like a peach, this one right here, but these other ones are like definitely like different shades of pink. So this is what you get right here. It's the lightest out of the other two. So let me go ahead and just show you for comparison. This one is definitely the lightest pink out of these two. The brightest pink is definitely the one size ultra pink powder. So what I'm gonna go ahead and do is I'm just gonna go ahead and apply my concealer on this side. And we're just going to blend that out. I'm very excited to see if this is gonna live up to the price because that price is not cheap, you guys. Like I know that you're paying for the name, but like, sheesh. Okay, so I'm gonna go in with a powder to set that under eye. Applies it really nicely. This does have a little bit of a scent. This is referred to as a magic dust powder that locks in the makeup, reduces the appearance of pores, and minimizes the texture. It gives a transparent finish. So even though it looks like it's pink, it's supposed to just give us like that translucent finish. So let's see how that goes for us. While we let that kind of sit for a minute, I am gonna go ahead and apply the blush we had on. This side where we went in with the Huda Beauty and the one size. So as you guys know, we did end up keeping the one size and we did remove the Huda Beauty one just because I wanted to compare both the Givenchy and Cherry Blossom Huda Beauty powder to the one size powder. So I left that one on and we're just gonna go with the same exact blush we used for both powders that we already applied. And that is Makeup by Mario Perfect Pink. We're just gonna go right here with it on. I do want to go ahead and just kind of clean up in this area too. So gonna take the powder. The powder does give you really good pigmentation. And I do want to take the powder up here to see if we can kind of blur that out. Like I said, I do have texture, so I kind of want to see how this all applies. It does feel very fine, and I do appreciate the fact that you get 3 different shades of pink, and then you get kind of like almost that like peachy tone in here, and then you mix them together to kind of create that perfect like powder that's going to sit really nicely with everything. So let's see how everything goes. I'm just gonna take this brush and dust everything away. That does it away very easily, and it doesn't look heavy on the skin either. It does remind me a lot of how the One Size applied. Okay, let's dust away down here. Here you do have to apply some pressure just to kind of get it to blend out, but it does a good job of kind of cleaning up the blush. I think I'm the most impressed with the under eye. With the texture, I feel like it does all right, but with the under eye, it looks nice. So this is what it's looking like. So I just took the flash photo, and I don't know what it is. I still feel like it looks better with the One Size. Like it looks more natural with the One Size than with this one right here. Like I was really impressed with how it looked on the under eye, but I feel like once I use it to set the whole face, I don't know, it's not giving me the most like skin-like powder look, and I still prefer the One Size. Like the One Size just kind of looks more effortless and looks better with flash picture than the Givenchy and the Cherry Blossom. Guys, tell me your thoughts. Honestly, my thoughts are I don't think the Givenchy one is bad. I definitely do feel like it looks and wears more lightweight than the Cherry Blossom one. But what I'm gonna go ahead and do is I am going to just go and use the One Size for my final look, because I'm going to be going out after I film this, so I kind of want it all to be in unison, and then I'll come back and give you guys my final thoughts so we can see what I would recommend for who and all that good stuff. So stay tuned. Bonita, so I am back. I finished the entire face of makeup. I just went ahead and used the One Size powder on both sides. I do want to go ahead and talk about these 3 powders. So I think I want to go ahead and start off with the Huda Beauty one. This one retails for $38, and you get 0.71 ounces in here. I definitely do feel like after trying this is definitely for the person who loves a glam moment, who wants that like full coverage type of finish in their powder, who's really going to be glamming it up with their makeup. I don't think this sits the best on people with texturized skin like myself. I also do think that this pink powder didn't necessarily suit my complexion the best either. Yes, it definitely did look very pigmented and very bright when I applied it, but once I saw it with flash and also just like kind of seeing it in my complexion, I felt like it was kind of picking up too light. I also do feel like this one does have a lot of fragrance, and with me, somebody that has very sensitive skin, I just don't think this is going to work the best. This is best suited for somebody that's looking for a glam powder, who's really looking for the powder to be super pigmented and stand out. Somebody who doesn't have much texture or no texture, because I definitely do feel like with somebody with a lot of texture like myself, you guys see I have a lot of texture on my skin. I just don't think these type of powders work the best. You also have to go in and blend them a lot. So if you're looking for a glam moment powder, something that has a lot of pigmentation that you'll see a noticeable difference, I think you'll love this. Also somebody that has not as much texture as somebody like me. Next up, we're gonna move on to the Givenchy powder. This is the most expensive powder out of them all. I have the mini, which was still a good, how much did I pay for this? $29, not cheap at all for 0.14 ounces. And then $59 for a full size, and you still get 0.42 ounces, not as much as these two right here for full size. I just feel like for me personally, there wasn't anything where I was like, oh my gosh, I am totally obsessed with this. It is very lightweight and it does give you pigmentation. I do feel like this one is more so suited for anybody who is looking for something a little bit less heavy than this, more lightweight. I do have 4 shades in here, so once mixed together, they kind of give you that very pale pink effect. So I don't know, I just feel like for $59, that's a lot of money for a powder. I would say if you do want to try this out, get the mini first, see how that goes, and then get the larger one. But I definitely just feel like for me personally, I wasn't the biggest fan of it. Okay, last but not least, the One Size Ultra Pink Powder. I think out of all of them, this one is my favorite. You get the most product. It is the most affordable one. $34, 1.2 ounces, that's great. When you apply with a puff, if you do want to bake, you do have to pack it on. It's not like this one by Huda Beauty, the Cherry Blossom one, where you go in with your powder puff, you apply it, and bam, you get a lot of product in there. It's fully pigmented. This one, I kind of like that because it is more customizable, so you can decide if you want to go in with less of it to get a more natural finish, or you want to go in with more of it to get a more full coverage look. So I do appreciate that. It also blends really seamlessly into the skin super easily. And I just feel like it gave me the most beautiful finish. Even in flash pictures, I just feel like it kind of became one with my skin, as opposed to the other two with flash photos. I feel like they looked really heavy and makeup-y on my skin. Pretty much all my thoughts. Let me know which powder you are most excited about. I hope that it was super helpful for you guys. If it was, please give it a big thumbs up. Let's me know to continue doing these type of videos for you guys. I think that's all I have for today. So I hope you guys have a fabulous day. Don't forget to stay safe, stay blessed, and stay beautiful. Hasta la próxima. Adios, bonitas.